up properly, and I'm just ripping on there, and that show was, I think, one of the best times I played it, and I was super stoked to hear it back and be like, dang, like that was really good, you know. So yeah,
that's awesome. I there was a band for a minute there called Professional Americans, and they played there a lot, and I was the drummer in that for a little bit. And I want to say that we played one of those like Wednesday night, you know, they had like the Wednesday night open things
mics,
where you could get up and do 4 songs. Did you ever do those?
We thought about it, but I don't know why we didn't do it. We thought about going like once or twice, but I don't think we ever did it. No.
There was like one, and then like one of the bands that played for a longer time there. Their thing was I forget the name of the band, but like it was like puppets. Like the lead singer was like also like using marionettes, and like the whole thing was like the puppets were the band members, and like all the music was done like mostly behind like a curtain, so you didn't really see the players. You just saw these puppets.
That's kind of like Gorillas.
Totally.
Yeah,
yes.
where they just had like the video of them playing. I remember seeing videos of that.
Yeah.
But now, was the open mics the thing where they did the interview as well? Did they do that too?
I don't remember an interview.
Because we've played there twice. We did the show that I was telling you about, and then we did this one. It was like I think it might have been like an artist showcase kind of thing, where we played a song and then they interviewed us, and then we played another song. And I remember watching back that interview, and all three of us were like kind of nervous and like we didn't know what to say and kind of stuff like that. I just remember. I remember just how young we were and how. It was just still. It's just still kind of crazy to see where we were then and how how it is now. You know,
I want to go back in time to your first show at the Topping Room because I remember my first show, which was at like a volunteer fire. It was like at a fire hall in Carbondale, Pennsylvania, and I had this old drum set. My cymbal stands didn't all have all of the legs on them. Oh, and the way I got it to stand up was that I leaned the cymbals away from me and I wrapped a rope around all the cymbal stands and then tied it to my drum throne to kind of like just balance them perfect. And like we hit this like hardcore breakdown. It was like just like a straight edge hardcore band. Yeah. And then like we hit this like big mosh part. And I remember like all my cymbals just fell.
And they're like, they're so metal, dude.
They're so metal, dude. But like, tell me what you because like the first show is really an interesting thing to remember. Like, what do you remember about like setting up or getting there or what? You know,
I've got a couple kind of memories. The one thing I remember how nervous I was. It was really the first time I had played in front of people. I think I had played like 1 or 2 open mics before that show, and so I played in front of people very rarely. And so when we did that, I know I was just really nervous until we played like a first maybe like 3 songs. And then like once I got there, then I could see people were kind of enjoying it, and it kind of made me feel a little bit better. But I had this Mustang 4 digital state amplifier with like 2 10-inch speakers in it, and it was on wheels. And it had all these preset sounds on there. And so I had this one preset sound, and I wanted to make sure I turned off. It had like a phaser effect on it.
Yes.
And I didn't turn it off. The whole show, when I was playing, I couldn't hear it. It was so loud, I couldn't hear it. I was just playing, and I wasn't focusing on the sound. And when I saw videos of it, the whole time, it was like...
Oh, wow.
And I was like, dang, like, did people notice that? And I'm like, I know people noticed it, and maybe they're like, oh, it's just part of the show. It's just
that's the references sound,
yeah, that's the references sound. The other, we had a lot of our school friends there, and as a first show, everybody's like, oh, like this is a new band in town, and so, we had a lot of our buddies there, and they would like mosh to our songs, and be like, hey, can you guys mosh to this song? And then we'd play it, And, I remember there were a couple...
would you all please begin moshing?
Would you all please begin moshing? Please. I remember there was this one time we were playing a song, and I hadn't heard about what happened until after we were done playing, and we were talking to our friends in the crowd. This guy was moshing, and he had earrings in, and apparently somebody ripped an earring out.
Ooh.
and this dude, I guess he like ran off to the bathroom and came back, and he was like, "Yeah, man, like my earring got ripped out," and that was one of those moments where I was like, dang, bro, like how did that happen? But at the same time, I'm like, dude, that's so metal, like that kind of thing, right? Yeah. And he was eventually fine. I mean, obviously, it must have hurt getting the earring ripped out, but I remember that happening, and I was like, dang, like this is how it is or whatever. I hadn't been to a punk or metal concert really at that point, and so I was kind of new to like what moshing exactly was and how violent it could have been,
Right.
So that was a crazy moment.
Well, it took me a while to realize this too, and I don't think I really like realized it until I actually like went out on the road and was like touring and stuff in my 20s. But like, when you are the talent that somebody's coming to a venue to see, and something happens to them, how they present it to you and how they say present it to somebody they came to the show with are two totally different things. Like they're gonna present it as something they're like stoked about to you, whereas it's gonna be something to complain about to like. And like, oh, my ears hurt, and like, you don't care, or whatever, and like, I need help, and stuff like that to their friends. But like, they'll come up to you at the show or after the show and be like, dude, I ripped out my thing. And you're like, whoa, are you? And they're just like, no, it's awesome. You're so great.
Right.
Like,
yeah. It's
the story
weird.
changes.
Yeah.
Because you are the reason they're having a good time. So it's like the experience is colored to your advantage.
Right. Right. Yeah. I think that, I mean, I shouldn't say that I'm not wishing that people rip out their earrings.
No, of course not.
But I think that, I definitely agree with that there is a little bit of a shift in how people view, something that happens if they're at a show, that kind of thing. It was just like, it was like, oh, like everybody was pushing me in the pit or whatever. But then like if they talk to you about it, it was like, yeah, the pit was insane, man. Like it was crazy. Yeah, it could totally change, or like a flip of a switch, just depending on who they're talking to.
If you're like on the road, you realize after a time you're the reason why everybody in the place is having a good time.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why like even doing the Smile Jam on Fridays in the driveway, still it's like 5 or 5,000. You always bring it, because like everybody's having a great time. Yeah. And like even these couple of months where we haven't been doing it, I walk around the neighborhood. Every time I go for a walk, someone was like, "Hey, Smile Jam, awesome! Can't wait to hear it again."
Yeah.
They're all stoked about it. Because you've created memories. Like we changed the vibe of a neighborhood during a freaking pandemic.
Right.
That's awesome for us. Like it's cool that we all came together like that.
Yeah.
I want to switch gears and talk about Azars.
Oh yeah,
Azars.
Yeah, that's a.
How did you end up at Azars?
Who did I hear it from?
Let me preface this for those listening.
Yeah.
So Azars is a bar here in Newbury Park, and on Wednesday nights, at least pre-COVID, they'd have an open mic jam. And I found it when I first moved here. I just like kind of searched and came across some weird, like some Ventura County open mic listing or something like that. And it said, I was like, oh, there's one here. And then I went down there and I just started going there every Wednesday. I would only go there on Wednesdays. And I thought I saw all the people that I went that would there all the time because they all liked the open jam. But then about a year into going every Wednesday, I showed up there on like a Sunday to like grab a burger and watch a half of football and get a beer and before I came home. And it was all the same people there.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I know what bar this is. I know what this bar serves in the community, which is fine. You got to always have that spot. And it is a good place to play music. But I can probably guess how you ended up there, because if you're saying you're like 12 years old and going to open mics, you've obviously got, super supportive parents that want to get you the experience of playing live. You know?
So I was about, how old am I? 18? I think I was about like 14 or 15 when I did my first open mic.
When's your birthday?
June 13th, 2002.
Okay.
I was about 14 or 15, I think, when I did my first open mic, and that was at it was a bar called Amigos Cantina down in Ventura, downtown, that isn't there anymore. And I had met two of my buddies, Mike Beers and Josh Beers, there, who were my rhythm section for my my EP.
Oh, okay, cool.
And so I had met them, and they were probably the best thing that's ever happened to me, honestly, for how much they've done for me. But basically, you know, I'd started out at Amigos, and that they call it the Beers Brothers Open Mic Night, that had moved to different venues around Ventura. And depending on what venues you were at, different people would show up. And so certain people would say, yeah, I came from Newbury Park. There's this jam up there, you know? And I can't remember who had told me about it. But I was like, okay, like, you know, there's a jam up there. It's a different day than the Beers Brothers jam. And I said, oh, let's, you know, one day after baseball, after school, you know, I played baseball in high school. And so everything I did would be after baseball. I was like, let's just head up there and do it, you know? And I think it was really my dad that kind of like pushed me to go up there. And I headed up there. There was a jam going on. And there I'd met Chris Austin.
Yep.
And Chris, great guy that I still chat with a lot and play with up in both Nashville and Utah. I'll get to that. We can get to that later. But basically, yeah, I showed up there once. I think Raul was there that day too. I think. And for those of you guys who don't know, Raul, yeah,
ripping.
Yeah, he was. Is he 18 too?
I want to say he's a year younger than you.
Younger, yeah.
I think when you and I met, you had maybe you were 16 and he was 15, or
I don't remember,
something like that.
But basically, you know, he's around my age, and we both kind of hit it off because we listened to the same guys. You know, we really enjoyed like John Mayer, for example.
Yeah. No, you could tell you both have very similar influences.
Yeah. And so we would jam at Azar's, and that's where I had met Connor. And I really enjoyed having Connor as my drummer, because Connor, you were able to build and take down the momentum of a song, and you were able to just go along with it like exactly how I would imagine it, you know, when we were playing. And that's where you and me had met there, and we had hit it off since. So.
Do you have something in mind that I can build and bring up and down with you right now?
Yeah, sure.
All right, hold on. Let me set that up.
All right. We can try Ain't No Sunshine. That one's pretty fun.
That's a great tune. We should definitely do that.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. And ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away, wonder this time where she's going. I wonder if she's gonna stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and this house just ain't a home. Anytime she goes away.